Emmanuel, Ahabwe. I am a founder of Micro World Computer Service Unit Limited. It's an IT firm based here in Barara that basically looks at IT support services. When we talk about IT support services, we are talking about computer and general IT maintenance. And then we are looking at internet and then network implementation and maintenance, and also IT consultants and maintenance. Anyway.
My name is Jonah Kasinga. I'm a computer scientist. That's what I did in school at Mbara University. I specialized in coding.
I'm called Amanya. I'm sure most of you know who I am, who have seen me around. I'm so honored to be seated with my elder brothers on this panel. I think I'm the one who has like the less years of experience, but it doesn't mean they are, in my area of expertise, I'm sure I'm also better.
Like I said earlier, at first, my interest was, let me do something. Okay, let me write down a piece of code and see what it does. It used to be fun to me when it would work out, and maybe I've gone an extra mile, I've done something that in my class, maybe I've not seen anyone else do, or I've solved a challenge. I got to learn that, one, this can sustain me. Two, if it is to sustain me, then I have to keep the passion, I have to keep the fire burning, and I have to keep getting better. Remember, each of those different clients wasn't coming for the same kind of product. The first guy came for something as elementary as code to work in a library. After that, the task was a bit more complex than that. That's why also the fees kept changing. So I got to learn that, one, I have to keep getting better. Two, the money will keep coming for as much as I keep getting better. Three, I learned that if I'm to earn more money, that is, I should go for more. And that's how I ended up thinking in line of a company, having it registered, because as I was doing all that, I was getting out of school. Now, out of school, I'm not just dealing with Emma here or Ronald or whoever coming to me and saying, okay, I need a code that does this. This time around, the trend has changed. I'm getting business from maybe Lakeview Resort. It's approaching me and they're saying, okay, fine, we need a system to work in our hotel. However, yes, we've seen you have something that looks like can work on your laptop. However, we are not going to negotiate in that kind of informal way of how much are you offering, and So when you're going to work with such big organizations, then they will require you maybe to write a proposal, submit an invoice, a receipt maybe. You go ahead and sign a contract with them. With time I learned I've got to also sign a contract. So all those dynamics in the market, of course I was learning on job, all those dynamics on market pushed me to think in the direction of formulating whatever I was doing and making it more serious, registering with the URSB to come up with a formal company, having a team, registering with URA, that is, so that this time around when I go to negotiate, I don't come to you as Jonah. I come and introduce myself as Mavtech Planet. I tell you, come on, I'm here, I'm Jonah, but I'm just working with Mavtech Planet. I'm a software developer and I've come to tell you about our products. This is what we do. So you will not deal with me as Jonah, you'll be dealing with Mavtech Planet. There is some kind of weight that is attached to that kind of approach. So at the end of the day, even when they pay, they don't pay Jonah this time around. So I upgraded from the other level of meeting Ronald maybe, and he picks money from his pocket and gives it to me, to now a level where the money has to go to a bank account. And not a bank account in my names, a bank account in the names of Mavtech Planet. With that kind of approach, I managed to move to what we call bidding. Serious organizations, especially government agencies and maybe some NGOs, especially those under UN, they will call for bids. Bids are in the form of, for example, if I'm to create maybe a similar scenario, maybe if you need a job, you'll find an organization advertising. Now, if an organization like maybe UNICEF needs a website, they will advertise, they say we need agencies that are in the IT field and can do websites to apply. Yeah? So you go pay for the bidding form. Now you'll not do that as an individual. So you pay for that form, then you express interest, you apply for such jobs. Those are usually very good deals. One deal can feed you well. So such kinds of deals are deals that you get to embrace if you've gone the formal way. And that's exactly how I ended up thinking in the direction of MavTech Planet, and not just me as Jonah. Then time came, and of course, when you get a client, 2 clients, 3, one client will lead you to 2 more, those 2 will lead you to 5 more. So it's a whole kind of tree, like we call it in computing. It's a whole kind of tree. So you'll find that you have so many of them, and after you've installed a system or a software app, depending on the way you want to call it, that is not the end of the business. This client will always need you to help out in case the system has broken down. In case they need new updates for the same kind of package, they will always need that kind of help. Now imagine you have 50 of them and you're alone, you see? And you still have to hunt for new clients. So you'll find that it's really difficult for you to do it all by yourself. So you'll need to call Emma, call another person, 3, 4 people, and you say, look here, come and we work together. Yeah? But you're not working for me, you're working for MavTech Planet. So when you bring in such people, you'll not just bring them in as Jonah. They will need to work under formal terms. That's another thing that made me push towards the direction of MavTech Planet. Thank you.
So how did you translate the passion for the hardware into the kind of business you're running now?
The underlying factor is, do people have a challenge? Do you think you can solve it? Money comes last. Altogether, I hope this will sink in somehow deeper. Can you solve somebody's challenge? I brought that first scenario because honestly, I thought I would solve the challenge. Even when we were at the university, they would call me, come and solve this challenge. So having realized that I could solve somebody's challenge, and then this person would give me something to, to eat. Okay? Okay, I said, why not going this line? The joy and the satisfaction you get when you have solved somebody's challenge. The whole world retorts on having challenges. So if you can solve one challenge, me, I was able to know that, look, I think I can solve a challenge. Young as I was, of course a graduate, I used to, our elder here would meet him anywhere and would run here. What if he asks me PHP, those things? And then when he would be closing this side, he would say, let me take this side. Because you might find the other day he gave you homework and you didn't finish it. So, but the passion of IT, of course, all of us here went to study IT-related thing. But it goes deeper when you can solve a challenge. When you even code, but you cannot identify somebody's challenge. I know this is more of innovation. There's a time we're here and we're doing innovation, ideate, create, and whatever. Can you identify a challenge and then solve it? That is basically what forced me to go into, to turn my passion to business. Are we together? It's nothing like robot science. This is true life. Be able to solve somebody's challenge, and then he will pay you.
So we also want to tap into his wisdom. How did you translate the same passion for software development into now working with us here and now building these wonderful innovations?
Right. Thank you, Ronald. These guys, my colleagues here, are all talking about passion, solving challenges, right? Or having skills. Yeah? Let us just stay at that and think about how do you solve a challenge and how do you gain skills, for example. What these guys are not actually telling you is like where they, like how they started and where they started from. I know Emma, he has translated his passion or his business recently, but he started from somewhere. Am I making sense? Like, it's not about like you're seated here right now and you're thinking, I need to just start a business or an IT firm. It doesn't work that way. How it actually works in reality is that you have to start somewhere. Yeah? You have to gain the skills first. You have to have mentors. And we are lucky that these guys are here to mentor us. First, gain the skill, have the mentors, the right mentors for you. Learn how challenges are solved in IT, and tomorrow you have a business. So the point I'm making, start from somewhere to get where you are.
Start from somewhere, learn how challenges are solved, and tomorrow you'll be like him. That is what you wanted to say, but if you had added, you'll be like him. Okay. So this, of course, it's not all rosy, like Ivan is trying to put out. There are several things you have to deal with. So I'm going to tap into the experience now. And the experience, we need to learn lessons and challenges. Maybe, I'm going to talk about challenges. This is not to scare you, but to prepare you, because that's why we have them here. We don't want you to go into deep waters, yet probably you could have started from the manageable waters.
One, the financial, don't expect much. Second, you have to think outside the box for you to be able to survive in the software environment. So I will add more.
Maybe as Jonah is coming in, at least I want to give it to him. He's one of those who have redefined software development landscape in Banana. Emma will testify. Some of us saw systems for the first time being developed from him. Maybe him really. Maybe there were others, but for us we really interacted with him a lot. So seeing a system being developed, I think I saw it with John. And then he has gone and on, developed, implemented systems. He has really worked on a number of innovations or a number of executions in terms of software development. So we would want to tap into his knowledge in terms of dealing with that particular work, not really challenges that we can't address as people. It could be those government-related challenges, we don't want to go there. It could be those challenges related to, the world and the nature-related challenges which we can't control. But there are those challenges which are linked to the way we do business, the way we interact with customers, the way we understand things. So those are challenges we can actually control. So that's actually the wisdom I want to tap into, Jonah, from you. Those specific challenges related to how you've been doing business, but also the key lessons you have learned over time. Maybe these guys could pick some lessons. Okay, Jonah, you can take it up.
This is now Jonah trying to make money out of that. Trying to take the path of being a technopreneur. That is technology plus entrepreneurship. So you find that the entrepreneurship component alone means you have a business aspect. That means you know something about business management, perhaps accounting. However, now that is not something you've been taught in school. That was challenge number one. Yeah? So you'd find that when I get my Kamane after installing a system, I put it in the pocket. Come on, it's mine. That's something I was believing. It's mine. So I put it in the pocket. Of course, I begin spending it. Immediately I leave the client's premises, I begin spending it. I begin with the first coin goes off a border guy. I put airtime, I put data. I look for what to eat, I go out. I go, I eat fish. I eat well that day. I get more coffee and all that. However, the kind of money I'm spending, I've gotten it from a client. Well, you might think that is okay, but after some time I got to learn that that is not how I'm supposed to operate. That is company money. I'm actually stealing company money. Well, it may not make sense if you say the company is yours. How would you steal your own money? No, the company is actually a separate entity from you. So at first I didn't know that. Then one time I got a bad encounter with URA. Of course I would issue receipts. These guys were auditing and they said, you've not been paying taxes. Where are your records for the money you've been spending? I told them, you see, part of that I feed myself, I pay rent. They said, no, you're not the company. The only rent that should be recognized is the rent of the company. Your personal rent, those are your personal expenses. We don't want to hear about them. So they wanted a big figure of taxes paid. Till I got financial advice in line with taxation that when you get such money that is company money, sign for it, request for it, have documentation. Even if you went and slept in a hotel in the field, have documentation for that, so that you file all those records. And at the end of the year, you have evidence that the money that came in, the company spent it, not just you. It's the company spending this time around. Because if I go to Kasese, for example, for an installation, I've not gone to tour, I've gone to do company work. Yeah? So the money that was made from Kasese, part of it was being spent in terms of maybe accommodation. I ate part of it when I was in the field, of course doing company work, not just on a normal trip at Queen Elizabeth. So I first got that challenge because I didn't have the business part of me in my mind. The closest I'd been to a business class was the commerce subject in O-level. So I didn't know much about that. Yeah, so that caught me so hard and I had to learn it the hard way. Yeah, and luckily enough, I got out of it. Yeah, maybe you could pick a lesson from that. Then the other challenge that came in, I told you about my informal kind of approach. I meet him, we talk. He's like, hey, you have this system, it's okay, you pay. After that, he comes back and he says, okay, we shall change a few things, the color, the logo, and maybe add in another kind of maybe feature. I need things exported maybe to PDF. Then it's okay, I will do the adjustments. I hit field with that kind of approach, yeah, because I was learning on job. So I hit field with that kind of approach. Met a client, and we agreed, of course, verbally. I showed him a demo, he accepted. He first paid part. Then each time I would go back, he would have something new he wanted. So deep inside me, I felt the project was dragging. The client is making me do a lot of work because 3 months later, we're still modifying. Each time you meet him, he says, I've remembered something. Why don't you add this? Then you go back and add. And you feel, okay, now we are done. When you come back, he even forgets what he told you to add. Then he says, there is something. How come your system is not doing this? No, I need it. So we kept in that kind of loop. For those of you who have done systems analysis and design, you will, as a course unit, in the theoretical terms, you will agree with me that the software development life cycle is continuous. It does not end. So that is the loop I was trapped in. Whenever I go back, there is something new. We are analyzing it, we design, and I have to go and code it. When I feel I've finished and I'm presenting to him, he again brings something new. So we kept running around the same kind of cycle, and there was no solution. Just like another human being, I got pissed. Okay, I got angry. Because I felt he was cheating me. The other side of the client, he felt I wasn't being cooperative. I had eaten his money according to him, and I was not doing the work he wanted. Now me on my side, I felt he was keeping my money, he was not paying me, and he's adding new things. So that kind of friction. somehow along the way I learned and appreciated the fact that contracts have to come in. Yeah. So after learning that the hard way, of course, we parted ways at that. I kept quiet. He called me. I said, if you're not paying, I'm not proceeding. And he also said, if you're not doing what I want, I'm also not paying. You see? So we stopped at that kind of point. Luckily enough, no one went ahead to sue the other. However, it could turn ugly on any day, and you end up refunding even the deposit he had given you. So I learned the hard way and learned that if you do contracts, then you will be on the safer side. How many of us have heard of the SRS document? It's so common in software engineering. The theoretical terms, software engineering as a course unit, software analysis and design as a course unit. Those course units have that component of the SRS document. So I realized that, okay, the other theory that I knew of that document, maybe it could come into play. When you come up with a contract, once he says, I need just a system for selling my things in the shop. I have just an electronics shop. Once he says that, you say, okay, fine, let's document it. So you go down, draft a document of what he expects. You let him tell you what he expects. So you have that documented. After documenting it, you also agree on the price. We say, okay, fine, we are agreeing. Averagely, our packages out here, averagely, we charge around 2 million. So when you have agreed on the price, you also write it down, and then you agree the terms in which he will pay. Whether he will first pay, then you begin to work, or you agree on whichever terms. Then when he will pay, and what both of you are calling a complete project. So once you've documented all that, you sign, and he also signs. Each one of you keeps a copy. Tomorrow when you come back to present, then he tells you about something that he remembered. You tell him it's fine, but let's first finish what is in this document, so that we can call this off and we flag off this project and say it's done. Then maybe we can add that. Trust me, at that point, you've protected yourself a lot. And somehow the client has also protected himself, because now you've committed yourself that you're going to develop everything that is in that document. Then also you're assured that you will get your money, because you've now agreed and he has said he's going to pay. He has also committed himself. So somehow that helped a lot with the other bit of add this, add that, add this, add that. If you've not added it, I'm not paying you. Then he talked about a client will give you so many things and he has little money. Yeah? There's a challenge again that is related to that. I'll first give a solution of my approach to that bit of a client has a whole list of things. There's one who called me sometime early this year. He wanted a very complex kind of system, having e-learning, video component, video conferencing component, so many things. When we talked about the money, he had 300,000. He had 300,000. And I told him, 300 may not be enough even to host that online. It's little money. That budget is not enough for that kind of project. However, it's possible to go through the project module per module. Let's implement a few parts first. We set it up, we shall keep adding more and more parts of that project. So for a client who has so many requirements, he has so many expectations, and you feel his budget is not enough, or cannot match that kind of work, it's usually important to advise him, because they don't know these things. The clients we have out there are just learning about software, and they expect so much. He has seen it working in a friend's business, and he thinks he can just also have it. Yeah, so advise him or her to cut down on the requirements. You implement part, he pays that. Once he uses that bit and he gets comfortable, you can always upgrade to another kind of bit, which he will also of course pay for, like that. So before you know it, he has that complex project, but he kept on paying in pola and pola, module per module, module per module. Then another challenge that is related to that, I always fell into a trap of a client saying, you first begin, you begin on the work. You begin on the work, then we talk. I will pay. Now, you see, software is something really interesting. It's intangible. You can't touch it. It's not like him who will get a computer and he brings it here, and if you've not paid him, he goes back with it. Or he will work on your computer, and if you've not paid, he will take back your computer. He will actually get your computer and maybe keep it till he recovers his money. Now, software is a bit tricky. You've told me to start on an app. For example, like that Let's Farm app. You've told me I want an app where people can order for supplies from different farms and so on and so forth. Then you convince me, you're like, no, you start. First show me something. Show me that you can do the work. So I go sit down with my PC, I code, then I come with it. Remember, I've invested in time, maybe data bundles and so many other resources. Maybe I've even bought certain APIs. So you find that I've invested all that in, then when I come to you, then you begin, okay, can you now go and add this? Can we talk about this next month? Remember, I've invested in time, I've done the project to near completion, but I've not been paid a single coin. That is another challenge that I really met in the field. You would have a client get you started on work, and now there's no way you will say, there's nothing you're going to do about it at that point, because it's not something like a computer that you will get back and you say, okay, now I've seized your computer till you pay. You have this code on your laptop. He doesn't even have it, it's you with it on your laptop. So he doesn't have it in his possession, but he has not paid. But again, you've invested in time. So you've lost time and other resources for a project that has not been paid for. 1 year later, that person has not paid. Then finally, he will tell you something like, you see, our board is yet to sit. Or finally, we sat and that money is not on this year's budget, the money for that project. It will be on next year's budget. Now, a person can tell you next year when we are in April. Then he tells you next year's budget. And then he says, yes, next financial year. And you have to wait for another 12 months or so. But remember, you've worked. And now wherever you've been, they've been seeing you busy, they expect you to be having money. So, such people, I grew to a point of, if you're going to tell me to start on your work, personally, at my level now, I cannot start on your work unless you've given me money. You first pay me. So you first pay a given fraction, which we call commitment. Yeah. So you pay me a given fraction, we sign a contract. We agree that this is the project and it's going to be implemented. So that takes us back to the bit of the contracts. Yeah. Then, of course, like any other kind of business, software is something that was really new, and 10 years ago, very, very few people knew about it. He was telling you that the first time he saw a system being developed fully, he saw it from me. Yeah? It may sound funny, but that was the reality. You imagine 10 years ago what the situation was in Imbara. Okay, how many people around you 10 years ago had a smartphone? Very few, or no one. Imagine 13 years ago, how many people had a smartphone? Okay, how many had computers? So that should tell you the far we've come. So we would meet people who think these computers come with software already. They think software comes when it's already on that computer. So it's hard convincing him that, look here, I can develop this and it works here. It was a little hard convincing such people. However, down there, with the awareness we are all creating, even you people who are now doing the course, you're helping us create awareness, because whenever you go home, you tell your parents or guardians or whoever cares to hear, we are learning how to code, we are learning how to develop apps. So whenever you tell them that, you're creating awareness for all of us. And tomorrow you'll also be in field. These people came up in field and they also helped us create awareness, just like we've also kept creating awareness till now. You're here in town in Imbara. However, the client base is not restricted here. I've spent my week in Kashenshero, the side in Mitoma, inside there. That is not far. There are places in Kasese, inside that side, Chisinga. I've been inside that side. So we have clients that far, and we need money from them. So we've struggled to do that kind of awareness, that sensitization. We are now doing it on social media a lot. Wake up, post something about what you do. You can do that kind of thing. As you're doing that, you're not only advertising for yourself. You're creating awareness. People are getting to learn that we have developers around. We have someone who can do for us a simple website. We have someone who can do for us a simple system for our school, can do something for us in terms of a simple system for our hospital. Challenge, maybe the last challenge I could pick up for now. Has someone ever stolen your code? How many people code in this audience? Or how many people have ever coded in this audience? None. Oh.
How many are running code? Maybe Gilbert has coded.
Yeah. So I've been talking for all this time. You didn't tell me I was speaking Spanish.
They actually understand the language, only that they haven't coded.
It's okay. Maybe, which years are you in? Year 2, year 1? Year 2, most of you. So you've written some bit of code. Hello world, you've put your name and your name has come out. How did you feel? You felt great. Okay. After that hello world part, did you ever code anything different? An assignment? Yeah, something you've sat aside and you've scratched your head, leave alone something they've done for you in class. I'm talking about something you've sat, it refused, then you coded it after a very long time, you tried so hard. Anyone who has ever gone through that? If someone came and stole that work from you, what would you do? How would you feel? You've struggled so hard through the weekend, the errors became errors.
And he deletes it.
So after some time, when they moved from, how many have coded in Java? Usually it has so. Yes, at times it can show you more than 50 errors. So from 50, you've pushed to 3, to 2, to 1, to 0, and now the code works fine. Then I come and steal it from your computer, and I take it as mine. How would you feel? Yes, that is a big challenge. Now, if for you, you're getting pissed because of a piece of code that maybe will give you only 5 marks or 10. Imagine someone stealing a piece of code or a system that you've come up with, and maybe you expect to keep eating from it. By the way, in the software field, we keep eating from the same thing. Yeah, you can develop one system and now you're left with just telling people, I have it, you come and buy it. You're left with that bit. Now imagine someone steals that and they begin selling it around. You'd feel worse. Yes, that is another challenge you could meet. However, down the years I go to learn, leaving alone the formal part of copywriting my things and all that, there are other crude methods, like I can encrypt my code using, we have what we call encryption software. Encryption is basically making something not to be easily readable. Yeah? So I get my code and then run it through another kind of software that will make it unreadable to anyone. So the codes which we're having, variables, declarations, everything will turn into zeros and ones. It will be like some binary kind of thing which doesn't make sense. So that is what I keep working around with. Even when I'm going to do an installation, that is what I will install. So that even if he comes and steals it, there is nothing much he can do with it. Yeah, because tomorrow he will meet a client who needs maybe the logo to change. And he can't change the logo, so they will not pay him. Yeah? That is for the languages that are web-based. The mobile-based are a little bit more friendly because I'll just give you an APK and I will have signed it and then share the APK. Yeah, but for those who are developers of web-based applications, to solve that kind of challenge of someone stealing my code and they are now installing it in different places, you could look at encryption. Today people are chasing for the copyright, not the other one of Kenzo and his federation. We are looking at copywriting our products here, our innovations. It's also something really good. At AIT, they've always brought those people to talk to us. If you've never benefited from that kind of session, just keep your ears to the ground. Anytime I think they might advertise another event where we have such people from URSB who come and talk to us about how to patent our products, to ensure that if he comes and steals one of my softwares like the Mavres, I don't now run after him. I go and file a formal suit and then he will compensate me for stealing my product. Yeah, that is way smarter than me now getting just annoyed and maybe looking for him I feel maybe because I'm a bit strong, I could beat him up and we hate each other at that level. So those are some of the challenges that have existed down the road and how we've tried to mitigate them. Of course, there are general ones. Money. You'll say, how did you start without money? Yeah, that is general for any kind of business. You will need money, of course. But the beauty about software is that you don't need a lot of money to start. The capital that we use in software is basically that campus laptop of yours, then the skills you got at campus. The rest you'll pick from YouTube, you'll pick from those online journals, you'll pick from events like these ones, and you'll pick from friends. That is the capital that we start with in software. Yeah? I'm assuming that by the time you're doing all that, you have where you stay, you're not on the street. You're not on the street, you have where you stay. So the money that you would say maybe I need money to pay maybe for rent somewhere and open an office, you might not afford that in the start, to be honest. You might not afford rent in the start. You might not afford to pay for where you're staying and pay for the office space as well. Because office space comes with its own challenges. Once you open an office, you will need to pay for license with council. If you don't pay, they will close that place. With the time you will also need to register. So you begin small. We don't need a lot of money at the start. But if you have it, the better. Of course, you know what money does. They say sente we kubegonza. If you have the money, that is even very attractive. But if you're really a beginner like most of us from campus, by the way, those in second year, you're ready to make money from software. Don't wait to finish school. You are ready. The fact that you can write a few lines of code, you are ready to make money. Don't wait. Don't wait to be perfect. You will never be perfect in code. Even me, I'm not perfect. I still get errors up to now, 13 years later. So you're ready to make money. Just like he said, solve a simple challenge. Yes, solve a simple challenge. Go an extra mile at campus. When they give that assignment, go an extra mile. You learn of it that with the time, your course mates will hire you to actually do for them the code. Yes, that is how you'll begin making this money. That 30,000 I made was from a course mate. He couldn't handle to code that thing that he wanted, and it was group project work, and I coded for him. So he had to pay. So you're ready to make money. You don't need a lot of money to begin software. You will begin from where you stay in your hostel, like that, and you keep upgrading. Then from there now, you can think of maybe renting an office with time, maybe registering a company with time. Yeah, but you know the limitations if you don't have an office and you don't have a company. I told you about them. So don't get afraid. Don't put people in the village on pressure that Muguzita kamupereze sente za capital. I want to begin an IT company. Those people will want money. They will want you to start supporting them immediately. Yeah, and yet maybe returns may not come there and then. Yeah. So start from where you are now. As long as you can code, begin developing those products. At campus, you have so many free resources. That's what I have to tell you. Your parents are paying your tuition. They are feeding you. They are paying your hostel fees. So whichever kind of product you're now doing at campus, you're doing it without that kind of pressure. Me, when I'm doing a product, I have that pressure on me. I have to finish it. So first I need the money. I need to take care of my family. I have to pay rent. I have to pay taxes. I have so many things to do with that money. But for you right now, you're not paying rent. You're not supporting your parents yet. So you can hide within that cover of being at campus to come up with these products so that by the time you're done with school, you're at a stage of just selling them out. You can just now advertise. Those WhatsApp groups you're in, the ones, Smanya Guild, Smanya what, share your flyers there. Begin telling them early enough what you do. They will hire you. It's been a long talk.
He has given us a whole master's class now. Yeah, but him being our elder, you expect him to really tell us a lot. I was talked to him what he considered as his challenges in some of the business knowledge. Really starting and you don't have business knowledge, the basic as even accounting. We face that a lot. Informal operations, and most of us But it's okay, the good thing has given us how we got out of that. Then I'm going to use the word client ignorance, but it's not that, but maybe also limited knowledge on the side of clients, not knowing how things work. But later on I will ask him how, in particular, how he's able to differentiate his value when he's dealing with such clients. And
is that the pricing bit?
A little bit, yes.
Wow,
yes.
okay.
We'll come to that.
Okay, fine.
Also, at some point he talked about so many errors in the Java code, and I remembered in one of the classes at the university, as a coding class taught by John Dr. John Osigi. So he gave us an assignment, but every time he used to tell us, so when you get so many errors in your code, relax, drink coffee, move around, come back and solve errors. So when he gave us an assignment and it was time for presentation, I came with my laptop and I had like 4 errors. So the thing was not working. So he asked me, present. Sir, the thing is not working, there are errors. So why do you have errors? Unfortunately, yesterday I did get coffee. That's how it's like a coding culture. I told him, you told us when we get errors, we drink coffee. Honestly, I didn't have coffee. So that's why I have errors. So let's go to Emma. Emma, from what Jonah shared. So we are looking at some of, maybe his are very particular software development, but from where you stand, what are some of the particular challenges and lessons you have picked for the time you have really been doing business? So maybe some people would want to be like you, this could be beneficial. Take it up, Emma.
Thank you very much. Sometimes when you're seated with Jonah, by his experience, you might want even tap more. See, learning is every other day. That's why we can give him even an hour to talk, and we can't stop him. That said, now, I want us to go in the same kind of line. Me and you now, we are looking at, I have an idea I want to start. Okay? So what are the challenges? What challenges am I likely to face? Is that not the thing that we are on? Most of the things he talked about them, but I'll quickly go to clients. Now, guys, your mind, like your mindset, is not the client's mindset. First, you see, you have moved from, let's say, because when you're starting, sometimes you don't even stay around town. You must be coming from Nyamtanga somewhere, and you're coming to see
from Chitobero.
From Chitobero, and you want to come and see this. I am going to talk from the IT, the general IT support, which was very specific to software. And I know guys here, you want to do, IT firms that does almost everything. And so, clients, sometimes, most of the times, because IT, though it is growing at that rate, its uptake from the recent years has been sluggish. And so guys they were not very much aware. And up to now, for you, when you're here and you're coding with your friends, you will assume everyone knows. When he was talking about coding and the likes, probably he knew he was talking to the right group. So the first challenge that I faced was clients' mindset towards what we do. And that translated to how much they will pay you. Okay? You're going and you've worked on the computer, it had a serious problem. And then the client comes and says, hey, what did you do? Remember, the computer was a computer worth 3 million was probably failing to work. It had an inner problem, the board and issues. And then he says, yeah, I worked on the board. The client doesn't know the board. And then he says, hey, that is too small. I think I can give you chai. he thinks he's going to give you 10,000. So the mindset of the clients, the mindset of the clients, that is one. Then the other thing that I am going to talk about are hitting clients' expectations. Guys, we're going to move from here, and you will be calling yourself, I am an IT guru. Guru. I mean, I had finished 4 years at campus, so you can imagine the 4 years of what to be doing at 4 years. And so the expectation of the client is that you know it all. I am talking about real experience, the challenge. And so sometimes you'd find, I don't know something. And even when you solve one problem, like Mr. Jonah was saying, you solve one problem and you are unable to solve the other problem, the guys might not pay you altogether. And so I think I can share with you probably the solutions and the like later. The other thing will be your location. I'm telling you things that matter now. Where are you found? If somebody needs, because you will start something in Chitobero. The uptake in Chitobero will be, find like, in average in a year, only one person will meet. And that person probably is a DJ, he has some cash shop. He does. I don't know. I am sorry, I hope I won't be called off. But what I am saying is, don't start IT in the field, in the village. I don't know whether that sinks in. Look for where you're starting it, where something, on any day somebody might pass by. So I face the issue of where to start this thing from. Of course, rent in Barada is too expensive. In any town, where do I start from? Now, with the things that we do, if you move away, he's software guys, you're somehow lucky. You might not need an office. You need it, but it might not be as a prerequisite. I think that is the right word, as with the other things. Now, you need where the location matters. If you go somewhere in the village, friends, and you start your IT shop, your IT farm there, there is a possibility. You know, when we are coming out of the university, they used to tell us that most businesses will not spend 2 years in what? Do you know why? When you get it and put it in a village, it will not, you will die in the first year. I am telling you experience. In fact, I died for a year. I died for a year and went back and re-strategized. I mean, there are some things that I think he knows. Probably he knows or he doesn't know. But, and so, but the challenge is, then we'll talk about the cost of running. The things you must be prepared for. Don't think that you will wake up on a day. You know, guys, an IT, you've heard of this dress code of IT guys, t-shirt and jean. I'm glad most of the guys here, today I don't know. But the dress code, one, they have a certain dress code. They are smart. They might be putting on a t-shirt, but that t-shirt is not cheap. So you don't expect to go somewhere and you have, I don't know, you have got to comb your hair, you have got to be smart, you have got to be there, such as that, and that is the cost. I mean, you cannot put on the shoe. Is what we call, it reduces the other, you know, and then you think the guy will pay you. And honestly, that was a challenge. You had to keep to the point, to be smart. And so, as I finish, still on that, Guys, your physical outlook matters. Are we together? The day you will go to a client's office, I am telling things that I know that have worked. Well, you can choose to look for things that have not worked. And you are really not, your hair is not kept, you don't need to be, put on suits and what, but I think somehow the perception is that IT guys are smart. And so you have got to be sober. And the last thing is about, I was affected by people's perception on the existing IT firms that are informal, that are not professional. Those are because by the time we graduated, well, we found the Kasingas in the field, but I think not most of them had transformed. There were still these guys, I can get your computer, get the hard drive, I will put, Windows worth 5,000. Those are guys that will have studied from, he comes to your workshop like the way I studied from a friend, says, okay, this is how they do it, let's go. So, part of the challenge that I think, guys, you can face in the field is people's perception on IT guys. That is why I was telling you, you must be different. You must be unique. You must portray, like he said, as you spread that message, let people know that guys are good. Guys are, we still have sober guys. If if you go to an office and you don't portray some level of respect, then don't be expected to be called back. And like he said, with our work, is you will not enter into an office once. Whenever you come to some place and do some repair, and install, let's say, cameras, and install internet, just to know there is a probability that you go back. And I am sure members here can testify to that. And so you must make sure that you portray, you leave an image that will force guys to, if they get another challenge, to call you. But that said, friends, the challenges are there. They are extremely very many. But there is no business there is no startup that doesn't have a challenge. But we are there to be, to solve those challenges. And two, if we don't do it, who will do it? Thank you.
If we don't do it, who will do it? Actually, I'm going to come to you. So he mentioned the several things which you need to attend to. I think professionalism is key. And I am happy Emma, Kasinga Jonah, and maybe us, we could have redefined professionalism in the IT field in Barara. Because like you said, before us, the Jonahs and what was there were basically technicians who behaved like mechanics. But this has since changed. This is a bit of they're about branding as well, and then location, and it's always hard to meet clients' expectations, but you have to try and then clients' mindset. So really, I hope you're picking lessons. Ivan, you have a agenda. Before
I wanted to talk about something, complimenting my colleague Emma. The most challenge actually we have as IT professionals is thinking that we know it all. Yeah, where am I getting that from? Because Emma was speaking, and we do almost the same things. We are all software developers, and we normally meet in the field. But I can testify that there is a time when Emma called me somewhere where he was working down there in Rebe Corner to help him on something, right? So don't assume that you know it all. He has done this for, like, all I can think of but at a certain point he needed me, yeah, because I had told him that I can do this. So he called me, please, I have a challenge here, so can you come and help? In fact, like he called me, I even came in and solved the challenge there and then. So don't shy away to think that by calling someone, your colleague who you think, yeah, he knows better than you, that he's going to steal your business. No, that's not how it works. Yeah,
Some people steal.
no, yeah, of course some people will steal, but you have nothing to do. Yeah, yeah.
Can I just supplement on the stealing? One time I took a fellow guy, very experienced, to a workplace. I was starting, just like I took Wahab. And that is part of that is the challenge that I want to part of the challenge as you and then this guy, the next time those guys were not calling me. I wondered, you guys used to call me now and then, what happened? So that is kind of a challenge that even we must, because that does not lie in the professionalism now.
You have to prepare.
When I come to you on behalf of Jonah, okay, my face somehow has not to be in front of Jonah. When I come on behalf of Mavtek, when I come on behalf of a YIT, I am an employee of a YIT there and then. Just why I raised this is, guys will steal your clients.
Of course.
just like you know, interesting is that before you went to an organization, there was somebody. This we see, some of us who do contracts and big things. You find there was a guy. So how did they chase him? Because they invited you once and you became the master. And even after they say you cannot bid for us, before you know it, they have brought the other guy. So what am I saying at the end of the day? Professionalism is very key.
And the other thing we can always do, you see, we were human beings before we became professionals. There are people, for them right from childhood, that is their character. Yeah. So before taking someone to help you out in the field, personally, this is what I do. Mavtek specializes in software, right? But their clients we meet and they need something extra. They want to set up networks. We've specialized so much that we don't even want to touch networks because we feel it will stretch us a lot. So if there is business that I want to bring in another person, I'll tell the client we do it, yes? Then I look for Emma, or any other person whom I know personally that can do that. I sit him down first for a talk. I tell him, look here, we are going to Chisoro, to Mutolere. We are going to do an installation there. However, you're going as my team. Agreed or not? It's like agreed, fine. Now when we go there, I'm the contact person. This is the work we are going to do. How much do you expect from it? So that you don't reach there and you're billing the client, Emma also wants to bill the client. That creates some sort of friction, and at the end of the day, you will find that Emma takes your client away. Or the client will get to know that Emma is the one doing the work. For you're like a broker. So, personally, that is what that is one way in which I look at as a solution to that. Talk to Emma first. If he's not okay with your terms, look for another person. Look for another person whom you can go and work with. Because you still need that client. There is a lot of business you're picking from there. Tomorrow Emma will also look for you maybe in some other area that maybe he may not be so good at. And it's just not good. To me it doesn't add up. Personally, I cannot behave in that kind of way. But it doesn't stop other people from being like that. Yeah, but talking to Emma first, you try to pick his reaction. If you tell him, okay, if we went there, what would happen? Yeah, you'll be able to tell the kind of person he is.
But he might agree with you, and when you get the other side, you get the contact. But we are talking so don't be like those guys. Yeah.
We are talking to you guys because we haven't been there. We are only helping you to know how to behave
when you go there.
So the thing is, really, the market is so big, we shouldn't be the ones now fighting among
Each other.
ourselves, yet we know we are all supposed to grow. Because I wanted to actually ask a bit of partnership and all that. I think somehow it's been answered. I might not go back to it because of time. But it's very key because it has happened.
Okay?
Eight, I think. You give them co-working space still?
Yeah,
Yeah, there is a time it was giving a co-working space. Come here, come with the computer, and come and say, me, I developed from here. This is like a small office. If somebody comes, take it upon yourself and buy a table and just sit. Don't rush saying, I need this whole thing. I need what Emma does. I need when I go to Jonah and see, or when no, guys. It all comes to, even when you're doing, some of us here, well, we are talking about startup, but some guys would need to go and find a job. Don't wake up from, graduate today and you want to go and the qualification is, the minimum is master's. And you say, minimum I can try. No, hit the ground, pora. You get? You can start. Start and plan to scale up. Okay? The challenges along the way will come. You will one time feel like, what I'm doing, where will I be in the next 5 years if I keep at this pace? But keep pushing. Have a goal. Don't be satisfied with just having a laptop and, the hoofer on table and you keep playing the music. And I know some guys here are satisfied by having data. 1,000 shillings data bundle is enough for you. No, guys. Okay? If you want to start, just say, I know, let me start at this rate, and then I will progress. Jonah was employed somewhere. When we were training, we were working with coordinates as well. But he now has, so if you come and say, I want to hit like Jonah does, my friend, you will hit and you will be hit back. So start, scale up. Even the idea of a hit wasn't born like, I know where it started from. So, but they have won grants.
We started with $1.
They have won grants. I mean, the first year, I am sure the first year of the year, you didn't win any grant. They were saying, what is this now? They would push your grant, your papers, but now you can present and people listen to you. So guys, plan, start, and then have a program to scale up. Okay? Persevere, be determined. Let's be a generation that treasures our work. One thing that I want to conclude with, guys, you're investing. This is an investment. Some of you look at it and be like, my parents has paid. Guys, this is an investment. You're investing. And so, be somehow purposeful, such that this that you have invested will come out later. Jonah, and Ronald, one of the things that I hate is seeing an IT guy, somebody that studied IT, for example, or engineer for 3 years, he's now like in a shop selling mandas, just because the guy,
or being a secretary,
being a I am
photocopy.
I am not despising those jobs, but guys, you
despise them really.
But you guys, you're investing.
He's wasting the 3 years because you would have done that without the 3 years.
I mean,
yes, without going through the 4 years bust, you would still photocopy.
So my friends, one of the things that keeps me going is when I realize I spent the 4 years at mass. Like, sure? No. Let me keep pushing as well. Of course, I have a goal, I have a thing, but I look at the investment. I'm like, okay, I go and start working for 300. Okay. When will that money come out? 300 per month you invested. No, we paid that we would have another term to make the money look big and say you're paying Emitwari Rukumi to just make the whole thing become complex instead of 1 million. So, guys, treasure your investment in this that you're doing. Okay? Thank you.
Of course, Emma never wanted to really sound rude or whatever. Instead of accepting photocopy of someone who's working in an office, learn how to integrate search engine optimization in a website. At least eat that, but don't not being the secretary or not being photocopy. There's a report actually I am really struggling to remember, but it was done by Masecops. It's a recent report where they were comparing IT in Kenya and Uganda, and found out most IT guys are settling for such jobs now.
No,
they actually said administrative jobs to just sound also good, but they just meant such kind of.
No, you see, and I honestly,
jobs.
Ronald, I usually pity our girls. I don't know why. I don't want to sound rude to my girls as well. You can do it. Okay, learn to code. Don't say these are things for the gentleman. I'm sorry there is no gender balance on this panel, but
apologies.
But we have ladies who are in this thing and they are doing. So don't just say, okay, let me finish and go and be a secretary somewhere. Have some interest in what you're doing.
So look for that report by Masecops. I think it was done 2021 April. They were comparing digital skills gap and they were looking at Kenya and Rwanda. You will be surprised how we are neglecting IT opportunities just for the lack of skills. He said, when we graduate, we settle for administrative. They classified them as administrative jobs. You know those administrative jobs, you don't probably need special skills, as long as you know how to talk and coordinate things. They send you somewhere, go pick this. Those are the administrative jobs. Not like those who are doing them, but they don't require special skills. You need to know how to talk to people, how to coordinate. So they said now, us IT guys are also settling for such jobs. We are not going for core software development, data science, we are not going there. So look for that report. It's good. It gives you the understanding of what you're supposed to be.
It's
Kenya
fun.
and Uganda.
It's fun when you are in a whole office, a whole kind of thing, and you're aware that what you're doing, you're the only one that can do it. Oh, it's bloody. It's just interesting. Find that you're the only guy, for example, the network is down. It's you they are waiting for. You even move out to take lunch and they are like, hey, at what time are you coming back? How about, the director will say, how about I went with you for lunch? Just knowing that you might go, and then because people know that we have a lot of things in our head and you forget, you end up going just like that. So guys, it's always fun and enjoyable when you know that you are the only one that can develop. For example, when he says the Mavericks, you know that is your thing, and you install it there, and you're sure the next time it will be you they will call, because they cannot call me to come and work on the map. And in fact, for us, we do general IT support. When we reach in such kind of computers and we find Mavericks, we say, for us, we see your computer has crashed, but we realize there is Mavericks. Could you please get in contact with somebody that installed that software, such that he can first do his work before we do our work? And then you call John. Remember, you're there, you're stuck, you're waiting for software guy. So
there's a girl they badly embarrassed in field. She had done IT. I'd installed a system there and I'd gone back for user support. Then her boss asked her, you told me you did IT. Mm-hmm. And then she said yes. She was a secretary. Then the boss asked, how come the things this guy does, you cannot do them? Then she said, you see, people specialize He did a separate course. For him, he did computer science. So they asked her, what is that thing that for you, you know that he does not know? What's that thing you're proud of that you can say that, I know this, but he does not know it? She had no answer. So you can save yourself that kind of embarrassment. I know some of you, by the way, I'm talking without being given the mic. I know some of you, this may not have been your dream course, by the way. It happens. You wanted another course, somehow you've ended up here. Even me, I was like that. My dream course was telecom engineering. Yeah, but somehow, Gavolists, I ended up doing computer science. So, what can I tell you right now? This is where you are, and you're not about to change, unless you change the course. But the fact that this is where you are right now, you need to have an honest conversation with yourself, like I did. If you feel you're really good, you were too good for this course, show us that you're too good. Come out of it when you're really good and you can handle the practical bit so well. That is the only way you can show us you were too good for it. But you'll be there telling us you wanted engineering, okay, another kind of engineering and not computer engineering, mechanical maybe, and now you've been given IT, you feel you're too good for IT, but you're failing even to do the IT well. There's no practical thing you can do in IT. So you're not going to change anything now. The fact that you're already in second year, you're not going to change anything right now about the course, because you're already here. Just sit down. If you've not yet learned anything practical, it's not too late. You can start off. You still have enough time, at least a whole year. That's a lot of time. Yeah, you can start off and see that at least by the time you're done with school, there's that skill you can cling on and you say, me, I'm good at this. For me, if I open Adobe, if I open Photoshop and those things, no one else can talk. It is my thing, I'm good at that. When I say I'm doing networks, I'm good. When I say I'm going to code, this is my thing. No one else can say they will code. I'm that good, I'm good at it. It's important to leave school when you have at least that skill. You will survive looking for jobs. Even if you want them, before they come, you will be earning some money. The job won't find you when you don't even have shoes. Your shoulder, your collar at the back here is torn and worn out. You look malnourished since you've been having a very bad kind of spell. Yeah. So get that skill. That's my last word at least.
That skill.
Yes.
And if it is one skill.
You just need one. I only got software and that is it. Yeah. These other things I refused. I said, okay, repair. I can try to format my computer. Don't be that bad. I can try to format my computer, I can, but I'm not going to do it for the commercial part. Doing something for the commercial part means you have to invest in time to research and you become good at it. You might not have that time to be good at software, good at repair, good at networks, no. Have the general knowledge, but have something that you can specialize in. And say that for you, if it is software, this is where you're going to get your money from. If it is hardware, maybe this is where you'll get your money from.
Good. Ivan, just words from you, but as you come in, tell us, young people are fearing upset start, maybe they don't have money or they fear failure. So, which advice can you give them as you give us your last remarks?
All right. Perhaps the advice I pass on is from his last point of learn something. Yes? We are not here by mistake, of course, yeah? And at a certain point, or let's say next year, we expect not this panel again, yeah? We expect some of you to be seated here, telling young people like you about these things, all right? So, the point I gave earlier was, you need to learn something, but how do you learn it in the first place? I talked about start from somewhere. All of us started from somewhere. I didn't start from it, he did not start from it. He didn't start from Mavtech, he didn't start from his business. Yes, we all started from somewhere. After the university, we all went somewhere to gain the skill, to be mentored. You cannot just jump from here and go and you will start coding and you know, start selling your software. You need to go somewhere, let's say, come here, take it, let us give you skills like you're here right now, learn that, yeah? And it's not a must that you must code, no, okay? we are, perhaps he's not a coder, him and me are coders and he's not, right? But we are all here. Yeah?
I am a former coder.
We are all here, okay? It doesn't mean that being a software developer is the only thing that can bring you on this panel. You get it, eh? So coding is not for everyone, and for it, I can assure it needs more time than you think, yeah? You have to persevere, that is one. You have to, like, you know, give it time, because you cannot learn coding in even 1 year. Like, for example, I've been coding since 2019, but I can tell you that I know just like the languages I'm like so perfect in are like 3, but there are like 20 languages. So if a project, for example, now comes in Python, I'm not so good in Python, right? But I know other languages, but if a project comes, I want to do it. You get it? I cannot know everything, but you keep learning every day. So the advice, make sure that you have a skill. That skill, you must learn it from somewhere. That is the reality. You get? And the other thing you need to embrace is there is no money. Okay? There is no money for you. Even if you have the skill, the money will come in like bits. It's not that, tomorrow I will wake up with 10 millions on my account. You have to like earn step by step. So, learn a skill, go somewhere, even if it means volunteering. At a certain point, if we are, to like speak the truth, we all have volunteered somewhere. You get it? Don't think about money like right now. That when I finish campus, I will get the job and start earning. Even if they are not giving you money, but at least they are putting something on your life, on your career. They are building you somehow. Okay, so that you gain that experience, so that perhaps if you're presenting yourself for a job or even like doing your business, you learn it from somewhere. So I think that's enough for me.
Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. It's really been good. Okay. Now, let me just open it up to you guys. Just tell people if you have any comment, any question, anything really. We are giving you an opportunity. First come, first serve. We are going to allow maybe 3. 3 are enough because we are time bound. Let me see those first 3. That's 1. Another one? Okay, 2. The third one? Only 2? Okay, let's take those. I think his first start is virtually.
Okay. Thank you. I'm fortunate that you're doing BIT. For me, I see most of the patterns now, most of them are software developers, and I'm really blessed. Yes, I also like part of the other side. Like most of the things.
My side, eh?
Yeah.
And his side as well. This is my management. Into management. I'm disputing the fact that you're a coder.
I am a coder. Okay, a former coder.
So for software, I would also love that, though as a setting, right now as I'm in year 2, as you say, most of the things you can't be having all that zeal of going up to it. But within me, I really feel I can really do code. That's what I think at the moment. And I think by having these people here, I really appreciate it. And thank you. Everything I've coped up with most of the things. You can't get everything at once, but with the little I've taken up at least, I think it's going to take me somewhere. I don't have any questions so far. And me, it's just like appreciation inside. So thank you.
I want to ask you a question. You feel you can be a developer. What sort of help would you want from these people? Me inclusive.
The way it helps right now, I would at first want to first try the little bit now. software with me now. Then if I'm done with maybe of that, and maybe I feel like I'm stuck, then at least I will get some understanding.
You will come to me, then I help you.
Yes.
Let me encourage Hamo. You said you still don't have enough. Have you done database? Any course unit in database?
Yeah.
You have. You did HTML? Have you done anything in Android yet?
No, we are not now.
Okay. Already the HTML you have and the database you've done, those are enough. You'll just have to throw in a little bit of scripting and it will be enough. You already have enough content by now. You don't wait. That is enough. You can come up with a system.
As I said, you can't know it all.
So you'll keep upgrading. From there, you get stuck. It is more self-discovery. You get stuck, you read a little, you do some extra bit of reading, watching a few YouTube videos here and there. There are very good videos, by the way, on YouTube for coders, basically. I learned a lot from them. Yeah. So you have enough content already.
And with coding, you get better with time. Like, for example, if he sees like the library system he did, he can even laugh. Like right now, he can say, "What?
It doesn't.
How did I even do this?
What was I thinking?" Yeah, so you will not wake up one day when you're better. No. It's hard work that you keep putting in. It's progressive. It's progressive. Even me right now, if I'm to stop coding for 5 years, I will be so bad and so poor that everyone will wonder if at all I've ever coded. So it's a progressive kind of thing. It's almost a daily thing. It's like a leisure activity. Yeah. So it's just take off.
Finally, from me, you definitely do coffee.
Yeah, coffee. I do a lot of coffee and chocolates.
Coffee and
Powerful.
First and foremost, I would like to appreciate all the content you have given us. At least we shall not be the same today. Then I had only a few questions. You had tackled it a little bit on how you earn from your products. I wanted a little bit of clarification because you named operating some products, patenting some products. After you have produced the products, you sell them off and you release all the ownership of the product, or you keep on owning some part of the product. I don't know how you earn later after releasing the product to the customer.
Well, is that directed to me?
yes.
Okay. Thank you. I talked about patenting. You patent what is yours. There are two types of products, like he said. There are those where a client will approach you and they say, "I want this kind of project." That project is not yours. You shouldn't patent it because it's not yours. So in such a case, for example, I was working on something with Katarema Children's Home, Chesha Home in Kampala, Mperere. We are developing a product to help them monitor their kids and whatever happens there. That product is not ours. So in such a case, you sign a contract with them, you develop their product, and usually that contract, such organizations are specific. They tell you they have to take full ownership of the rights of the product because it's theirs. They initiated. So when it comes to such products, here is how you will earn. For such a product, the first step, you will earn when you do the work, developing it. That is the first bit. And usually you charge them highly for such products because you know it's a one-time thing. Two, you can always bill them for maintenance. Systems undergo maintenance. Yeah, once in a while they want to change the Windows on that computer. Maybe there is a module that they feel they need to add just a little, such things. So whenever such a thing comes up, you build them again. That's another way you can earn. Then the other bit you can earn, such a product may need to be upgraded with time. They need a new version. They may not even know that they need a new version, but now you as a developer and as a businessman should be sharp enough to sit and think for them at this point. Now that they're already using the product, think of new ways in which the product can become better. So when you think of the new ways, you interest them, you write a proposal to them and tell them, look here, I feel if we modified that system from what you have to maybe this, it would do better, don't you think? then you enter in negotiations again with them. So basically, you can still keep eating from them, even if the product was theirs initially. 2, there is a product that is your own innovation. You thought about it, you came up with it. Like we have the Mavericks. We sat down, thought on behalf of schools, we saw a need. We said, okay, fine, if we have a product for schools, maybe we can sell it. That product is ours, and when we are selling it to you as a school, we don't give you the full rights. The rights remain with us. You're just using it. So for such products, if we want to keep still earning from that kind of product, of course, we shall sell it to you, but you're not buying the full rights. You're only paying to use it. We shall charge you for maintenance, we shall charge you for upgrades. Some people even charge subscription for using a given package. So you find like every year, if you're using our package as the Mavericks, we expect you to keep activating it. You pay for its license every year. If you don't pay for the license, it goes off. So you have to learn to automate that as well, so that if a client has not paid you, the system switches itself off, or brings that message that we might have seen in some softwares of, you need to activate this product. Yes, so you need to learn to come up with such control measures. When their license gets done, it brings that message, and of course they will have to pay that money for that year. Those are actually 2 different ways you can earn from your product.
Great. Thank you. Any other burning or this one? Are you sure? Thank you so much. You can ask.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ronald and others. I just want to request, like, I have an idea. If I have an idea, and you're good at coding, and I want to do that business with you. And then, like, I fear you can steal that idea. How can I protect it? That idea.
I don't know. You say you have an idea, but you want him to develop it for you.
I know.
And you feel when you tell him, he will take it.
That's
He will
the
take
question.
it.
That is what he's supposed to say.
Could it be?
No, he feels when he has his idea, and he comes to you and he's like, why don't we develop this? You will hide it behind, you will steal it and take it.
And it also happens a lot.
And that is very common. Every
has
day
even
that's
happened
what
to us
happens.
here.
Yes. Not once, but
Not
all
once.
the time.
It has happened to
You
us.
share with someone what you want to do, and tomorrow it is there. Okay, they will modify somehow, small. Like for example, change the name, but the entire idea is yours.
Maybe-
Like everything.
Maybe for our case, what happened to us, we had an idea, we've been talking to people about it, and after a few days, we see them pitching somewhere and even win grants with it. It has happened to us.
And yet you developed everything, the documentation and everything.
You even gave them a concept that's the same concept.
You even presented
They are taking
together.
somewhere to.
So it's common.
So it happens.
So you can't control that because it's an idea. Like he said, you cannot patent an idea. In Uganda, I'm sure it's not there. So if it's an idea, make sure that you are, maybe you trust like someone like very much, share with them, otherwise they will take it from you if they are sharp.
There's maybe another option you could take. There are 2 options actually. If you have your idea, for example, right now you have a given app, idea of a given app that you want, you approach me as a developer. There are 2 things. You could approach me as a developer because you want me basically to develop for you, and that is it. Yeah? That idea is yours. You get it? That means we shall sign a contract. It's really important, by the way, to sign contracts. We have fine time, you sign a contract that I am hired to only and only develop it. See, when I was answering the other, I forgot your name, the other gentleman's question in regards to how we earn. And I said that there are companies that will approach you and say you're developing it for us, but full rights are ours. So in this case, you come with your idea, you come over to Mavtech Planet. However, Mavtech in that case is just a developer for that idea. Sign a contract, tell them you're going to sign a contract with them, and You make it official in the contract that after the development period, Mavtech doesn't own a stake in that. Option 2, but in that case, of course, you would pay Mavtech the money it wants to do it, and that would be it. And if you need maintenance, Mavtech would again have to be paid. Option 2, you come to me and you say, come on, Jonah, I have my idea, you have the skills. Why don't we work together? In that case, we would have to sign a partnership. You get it? Facebook is not owned by only Zuckerberg. It has a number of people.
It has a few shares.
Yeah, it just has shares. So, in the same vein, you can come with your idea, you meet me, you say, okay, fine, I have this idea, and I don't have enough resources to put in it. Or like, you had billed me 20 million, but I feel we can own this idea together and take it up as a project, both of us. So instead of me paying all that money, I will pay half. That will be my investment into that. Then the other half will also be your contribution. You develop the idea. Again, it will be important to document that. We are people who have gone to school. Let's embrace that approach of always having things written down and signed. Because if you talk to me verbally, and tomorrow we begin selling, I'm the developer here. I can edit anything I want. Yeah. So if you had just talked to me verbally and we are selling, I can lock you out. And it becomes fully mine because I will be the face of the product. I'm the guy who is selling, I'm the guy who develops it. Yeah. And what's the code? However, if we had already documented, we had said this is a partnership, I have my 60%, you have your 40%. If proceeds come out from that product, we shall share in those same kinds of percentages. Then it becomes hard. If I locked you out, you can, at that point you can sue. It becomes very easy for you to follow up. You can sue because there is evidence that we agreed on. And let's learn confidentiality. If you have your idea, don't move around the whole hostel telling people.
But
yeah, because you will move around telling everyone in the hostel, and before you know it, there is that smart guy who sits and modifies it, and he's sharp. He's so fast. Before you know it, he has done it, and he's making money. Yeah.
But don't get scared, Onesimus. These things happen like the share
every day.
has happened to us at the Eid, and it is okay. But
life
don't be
goes on.
scared. Life goes on.
Because remaining with it
At the end of the
doesn't
day, if it's your original creation and it's your work and what, they will copy, they will do what, but still be willing to move on and implement your idea in all ways. You understand its origin. They will copy whatever they will copy, but you are the master of the game. At the end of the day, you will move on and you will succeed. Don't be scared. And I know that, in some competitions we go to, and even someone is not willing to pitch or is not willing to share, thinking, we used to do those things. I can't talk to you
I can't talk about my idea,
it.
you will steal it.
Either way, the idea that is easily stolen is the idea that is even not shared after all. Yeah.
And it doesn't also steal, you're not benefiting from it. Keeping it in your brain.
You're not benefiting by just keeping it. So you just need to be open-minded, but also be careful, like Jonah said. Where there is an opportunity for you to document where there is that opportunity. Please do so. Try to formalize. I think it was a good one. Thank you, Jonah and Onesimus, for raising it up. So that's why we even encourage you at some point to ask if you can. But if we are done with all of the questions, I think we are done. We have exhausted, and we are sure. I'm going to invite the ladies in front for reasons. Unfortunately, this place is small, but we have 1, 2, what do we have for ladies? 5, eh? Since we don't have anyone on this panel, we are going to ask each lady to say something. And this is what we're going to say. We're going to give them a vote of thanks. I am not even included because I didn't say anything. We're going to stand up, tell us what you have actually learned in a few seconds, and then give a vote of thanks. But it would be good if you actually come in front. We're going to stand here and there's even a camera in front of you. Let's start with, I will get your name. But we're starting from this side, we'll move and then we'll end with fortunate. I'm doing this because we don't have anyone representing them on this panel, but it's also important for us to hear them. What you have learned, what you're going to practice, but also give the panelists the vote of thanks. You can come over until we reach Fortunate. Come. Give her space by the way she's coming. It would even be good you clap, eh? You can even clap as she's coming. Are we going to clap? Can we start? You don't want us to clap for you? Okay, it's allowed. Give her space, give her space. Okay. You can stand here.
Good afternoon.
I'm really offering bachelor's of information technology from Tushabe University. I'm glad to be part of it. In my second year, and it's really something not to be taken for granted because at least you people have joined different companies and it's a rare case. For such a workshop, we invite you to come and attend. It's not done in most of the companies. Okay, our panelists for today, thank you for the nice one. Thank you for some encouragement. Me, myself, I learned that I should start from somewhere. If you're going to do something, you won't come out of nowhere. But there should be something you should start from. Definitely you have to practice. If you fail, you have to go back and maybe get back to your errors and get some correction. Already that's starting from somewhere. And also I have learned that you should learn a challenge. When you're in a field, you identify the challenge that is this time being given, you learn about it, and later you get a solution. Still, the third thing is thinking outside the box. But definitely, as an IT person, you have to think outside the box. Maybe the system you want to design, how is it going to affect the people who will use it, the clients, what are you going to gain? And still, we need to bear in mind that we are not expecting money from what we are doing. That's all I learned. Thank you once again.
Yes, thank you so much, brilliant. We are actually expecting money from what we are doing. Although it might not come as fast as we think, but at the end of the day, it's about paper. Eh? You can. Thank you so much, brilliant. We need survival. Okay, the next one. Then we prepare to do a group photo with our panelists as we rest a bit.
Once again, protocol observed. This called Kampasa Shiba, offering Bachelors of Sciences in Information and Technology. I've just completed my second year. It's internship. Then another thing, welcome you all. I'm very humbled to be here to attend this workshop at AID. You people, if you always make us these workshops, we will really, really, really achieve a lot and gain from them. I appreciate you for that, sir. So, to you all who have presented, I've gained a lot through you. We've seen how to turn the passion of IT into reality. Yes, let's not use IT as, we should put it into reality. How? We should first set some questions. We are there to face challenges. Can you face challenges? If you face them, how are you going to overcome them? Those are questions you should ask yourself. Another thing, how are you going to solve those challenges? You people have told us your experiences, the challenges you encountered, and the way forward to have you solved them in different ways. For example, you showed us the challenge of a customer. A customer has said, make him this product. You started coding on it, but after presenting the outcome, still the customer wants you to put in some other features. And remember, you're wasting time. You have time. You're not benefiting. Instead, the customer is benefiting. Is the one benefiting. So you should make the solution to that was people should make contracts. Make contracts. You say this and this to this. If he wants the challenges, or if you want other changes to be put across or made, then probably he will wait. You first deal with that certain thing that you've agreed on. Then another thing we've seen that you shouldn't keep rushing. The simple thing you've known, let's say you know your database and database, yes, HTML, start on that slowly. And to start earning, you don't need to first start up a company or similar register what. No. Start with your friends. You've seen how you can do your marketing. You can refer and earn. We've looked at refer and you can refer someone and earn. Or you can, yes, you can have your friends, because I think this gentleman, Mr. Jonah, said that him first earning, it was from a friend. The friend never knew how to do a certain thing, coding. That was a group work, so the friend wanted to code, and he did it, was paid. So that's what I did from this workshop.
Thank you so much. Okay. Last, no. There's someone. Oh. Keep it short. Okay. This one is already is ready to go. I see.
Good afternoon to you all. I'm called Kasinga Jonah, doing DIT from Bishop Stewart University. I'm here to appreciate for everything. I'm really humbled. From this workshop, I've learned some of the things. I've learned that passion turns into business. I've learned that solving a challenge can make you gain some skills. I've learned that to become successful, you have to be having someone to teach you something.
Mentally.
That's all.
Thank you. Definitely. Then final opportunity.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kasinga Jonah from KIU Western Campus. First and foremost, I thank God because we've been able to hold this session really successfully. And then I thank you, Mr. Ronald, for always helping us to learn more from these workshops. We always find. From today, at least I've learned something big. I've learned that before you start certain things like these IT firms, you don't need money at least. You have to gain the skills. Then maybe like from a friend, you can also get some work, like he said, from a friend from whom he also earned. Then they shared with us the experiences, the challenges they find in their work. They also gave us solutions. I cannot repeat them because our colleagues said them. Then maybe it is, I don't know if this is a negativity or a what, I don't know. I'm asking, like, you people who are developing softwares, there are already systems in place. So like Mr. Jonah, you are like, there is a system you would develop, then you took to schools. I believe these schools, at least they had a system in place before you took it. So I was wondering, how did you come to know they are facing this challenge? Did you go to school and you say, let me see how your system is working, then I can at least add in some new stuff in it so that you can develop it further, and then I don't know how to do it.
Maybe Jonah might not answer now since we're going back, but I'll give him a minute to say something about that. So next week I think we are supposed to invite someone, Nuriat or Nora, for like a 1-week workshop on design thinking to help you understand how you come up with such ideas like Jonah was mentioning here. How do you sit down and realize, yes, you will think of something that is even whose solution is already out there working, but then you will learn how you exist on top of what is in place. So we'll have really moments when we will understand that, but thank God you asked Jonah and he's here, so it's also important for him to say something since you are also very particular. Jonah, in less than a minute you could respond.
When we are coming up with these products, one, you might think of something that you feel is new. Only to learn of it, it is already out there. Two, there is something you already know is there, and you also come up with it. The market is wide. For example, schools alone, I last checked when we had more than 10 million school-going children. That means we have thousands of schools in the country. So, one, the confidence is that the clients are there. Now, this is what happens if I'm coming up with a product that already exists. I begin by studying the existing products. Which features do they have? I'm not studying just to copy. I'm studying so that whichever product I come up with should not be substandard. It should at least be at the same level as what is already existing. Then I look for the challenges that the customers are having with those products that already exist. I don't need to, when I'm looking for those challenges, I don't need to be so direct. I could carry out my survey. For example, with our school product, we go to learn that the products that were there before us, most of them were strictly running over the internet. But a good number of schools were having issues with internet connection. So we thought of why can't we make ours to run offline so as to penetrate such schools. Two, there are products that were available, but you'll find they have to pay every year a certain amount of money, which is quite high. So in our business model, we thought along the line of about if, for the sake of penetrating the market, we first tell them, for us you will not pay subscription every year. It's a one-time purchase. So it's like a game of chess. You just have to sit down and you do a SWOT analysis, you look at the products available, their strengths, you pick out their weaknesses and you turn those ones into your strengths before you really work on your own product. So at that point then, you can begin with those, there are clients who don't have systems totally. There are those who don't have, even today as I speak. Not all schools are using a school system right now. There are those without. So you can get those. Then there are those with systems, but they have challenges.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, I'm fortunate at Chile, being BIT at the University of St. Joseph's Nyamitang. I'm here, I had already appreciated, but I'm just going to give a little bit more. I would want to thank the CEO, Mr. Aroni, for this for this all time, most of the Fridays, giving us this chance of meeting different people. Now we brought out these ones also. We really appreciate you, and also the panelists of today. We thank you very much. Aside from that, for today I've learned a lot, but what I've learned, like us, the youth, or us the young that are going into the field, we have to learn to be patient, because we can't just get everything at once. So as part of it, all the most thing what we have to put in place, or what we have to put on mind, we have to be patient. It's like that if you're trying something, you know that you can't easily go for it, but you have to continue and persevere with everything that we need. Then aside from that, especially on the experiences, have told us that we don't have to be having everything, because we can never be perfect at first. Everything goes on the time that you get used to the coding or every experience you get on a daily basis, then that's how you're going to improve in everything. Let me stop there for time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Fortunate, and all the ladies or the girls, whatever you prefer, for the kind and nice words. And thank you so much, guys, for attending. And thank you so much, panelists. I think it's really been insightful. I mean, when we bring such people, they are very close to us. They are going through the same experiences we can easily see and touch and feel. So that's why it was very, very insightful, and from the discussion we had.